Hey, English learners, welcome back to Ease English Podcast, your cozy little place to learn easy English through real, everyday conversations. I'm Anna.
And I'm Jake. And before we jump into today's topic, we really want to say something from the heart.
Yes, we have been reading your comments lately, and honestly, they make us so happy.
Some of you tell us you listen every morning. Some of you listen while having breakfast, while walking, while going to work, or before sleeping.
And many of you are saying daily listening is improving my English. That means a lot to us, really.
Yes, because sometimes learners forget how far they have already come.
Come on, think about it. If you're listening to this B2 level episode right now and you're understanding us, even most of it, you've already come so far.
Really? Maybe you still make grammar mistakes. Maybe speaking still feels difficult. Maybe you still search for words in the middle of a sentence.
But understanding a real English conversation at this level, that is not small.
Not small at all. That is progress. Quiet progress, yes, but real progress.
Your ears are getting sharper, your brain is catching phrases faster, you're starting to understand tone, rhythm, emotion, and natural English.
And one day you hear a sentence and your brain says, "Wait, I understood that without translating."
That moment is beautiful.
It's like your brain gives you a tiny certificate.
Congratulations, you understood English without panic. But truly, if you're listening every day, even for 10 or 15 minutes, please know this. You are building something powerful.
You are building listening power. You are building confidence. You are building your English identity.
And if you are new here, welcome. We are very happy you found us. Here you can learn English through calm, real conversations without pressure and without feeling judged.
And if this podcast helps you, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and tell us in the comments where you're listening from.
Yes, we love reading that. Breakfast listeners, walking listeners, bus listeners, cleaning the room listeners. We welcome all of you.
Now, today's episode is especially for learners who listened a lot, understand a lot, but still feel nervous when it is time to speak.
Because maybe you can understand podcasts, maybe you can follow videos, maybe you can read English comments. But when someone asks you a simple question in English,
the brain suddenly disappears.
completely disappears, like English packed a bag and left the room.
And then later, after the conversation is over, all the perfect sentences come back.
Yes, 5 minutes later, your brain says, "Oh, I had a beautiful answer."
Too late, brain. The meeting is finished.
So today's topic is stop waiting and start speaking English.
This is a B2 level episode, but as always, we will keep the conversation natural, clear, and easy to follow.
And as always, we will learn useful words and phrases naturally as we talk.
So just listen, enjoy the conversation, and wait for our word tour segment after the discussion.
Yes, our little hero segment that many of you love, where we bring the words back and make them easy to remember. So, take a breath, relax your shoulders, and remember, you do not need perfect English to begin.
You just need one sentence, one small try, one brave moment.
Because confidence doesn't always come before speaking.
Sometimes confidence comes because you spoke.
All right, let's jump in.
Let's start with the part nobody likes to admit. Waiting feels comfortable. It even feels responsible. You tell yourself, "I am not avoiding English. I am preparing."
That is the sneaky part. I am preparing sounds much better than I am scared.
It does. And yes, preparation is useful. Listening, learning vocabulary, watching videos, writing notes, all of that helps. But at some point, preparation can become a very polite hiding place.
Oh, that is good. A polite hiding place. Like fear is sitting in a nice chair, drinking tea, saying, "No problem, we will speak next month."
And next month, fear says, "Actually, let's wait until your grammar is better."
Fear is very professional. It always has a reason.
That is why many learners become reluctant to speak.
Reluctant. Nice word. Reluctant means you do not really want to do something because part of you feels unsure, nervous, or uncomfortable.
Yes, you may want to speak English in your heart, but when the moment arrives, your body says, maybe not today."
I remember a learner once told me, "Anna, I know the answer, but when the teacher asks the class, I look at my notebook like the answer is hiding inside the paper."
The international student strategy. Look down, look busy, suddenly become very interested in one corner of the page.
Very academic. But inside, the learner is thinking, please do not pick me.
And that is not laziness. A lot of the time, it's self-doubt.
Self-doubt is when you question yourself and think, maybe I am not good enough. Maybe I will sound silly. Maybe people will judge me.
And self-doubt can be louder than the English you already know.
That hits. Many learners are not empty. They have words, they have phrases, but self-doubt stands in front of them like a security guard.
A dramatic security guard. Sorry, confidence not allowed today.
But every time you stay silent when you wanted to speak, your brain learns a lesson.
And the lesson becomes, speaking is dangerous. Silence keeps me safe.
Ooh, so waiting doesn't just delay speaking. Waiting can train the fear.
Yes, it's like a path you never walk on. At first it's simple, but after months, it starts looking like a mountain trail.
And the only way to make it feel normal again is to take one small step.
One sentence, one small answer, one voice note, one question. That's how the fear starts losing its power.
So, if you feel reluctant, don't insult yourself. Say, okay, my brain is trying to protect me, but maybe I can take one small step anyway.
Because speaking English is not about proving you are fearless.
It's about showing your fear that it doesn't have to drive the car.
And that brings us to another trap. Many learners don't just want to speak, they want to sound impressive.
Ah, yes, the dream. You open your mouth and suddenly sound like a TED Talk, a Netflix character, and a university professor all together.
Beautiful, but sometimes real life just needs, where is the bus stop?
That is the thing. Real English is often simple. It is useful. It helps you do life.
Ordering coffee, asking someone to repeat, explaining that you were late, sharing your opinion, telling a friend how your day went. That is real communication.
And many learners forget this because they compare their speaking to perfect videos online.
But the goal is not to perform English. The goal is to use English.
That is where the word articulate comes in. When someone is articulate, they can express their thoughts clearly.
And clear does not mean fancy, right?
Not at all. You can be articulate with simple words. You can say, I disagree because I see it differently. And that is clear.
So no giant sentence wearing a suit?
No giant sentence needed.
So being articulate is not about using the most advanced vocabulary. It's about making your idea understandable.
I had a student who said, I don't speak well because I use easy words. And I told her, but people understand you. That means your English is working.
That is a huge mindset shift. If your English helps someone understand your need, feeling, opinion, or story, then it's doing its job.
Think of English like a small flashlight. Some learners wait for a huge stadium light before they move, but even a small flashlight helps you take the next step.
You do not need to light up the whole city. You just need enough light for the next step.
So instead of asking, does my English sound impressive, ask, can my English help me connect?
And here's the practical part. The first sentence may feel awkward.
Awkward means uncomfortable, strange, or not smooth.
Yes, but awkward does not mean wrong. It means new.
So use a simple starting phrase. For me, I think, let me try to explain, that's a good question.
Those phrases give your brain a small starting line.
And sometimes the brain needs that. It's standing there like, please give me a clue.
So don't wait for the perfect sentence. Start with the useful one. Now, this connects to something many learners misunderstand. They think confidence must arrive before speaking.
Like confidence will knock on the door one morning and say, hello, I am here. You may now speak English.
But in real life, confidence usually comes after evidence.
Evident proof?
Yes, your brain needs proof. It needs small memories that say, I spoke and nothing terrible happened.
That is so important. Confidence is not only positive thinking, it is built from tiny proofs.
You answer one question, proof. You ask someone to repeat. Proof. You make a mistake, but the person still understands. Proof.
And one day, one of those small moments becomes a breakthrough.
Breakthrough. Strong word.
A breakthrough is an important moment when you finally move forward after feeling stuck.
And a breakthrough does not always look dramatic from the outside.
No fireworks, no slow motion music.
Sadly, no. Maybe you just say, I prefer tea because coffee makes me too energetic. And then you realize, wait, I spoke.
Tiny on the outside, huge inside.
I had a friend whose breakthrough happened at a supermarket. He was lost, and normally he would walk around pretending he knew where everything was.
Classic supermarket confidence.
Very classic, but one day he asked, "Excuse me, where can I find this?" Simple sentence, clear sentence, done.
And I bet he felt proud.
He did. He said it was only one sentence, but I felt like something switched on.
That is what we mean. Speaking confidence is built from moments like that, not from waiting in your room until you feel perfect.
Your brain believes what you repeatedly show it.
If you repeatedly show your brain silence, it believes silence is safer.
But if you show your brain small speaking moments, it begins to believe, maybe I can do this.
So do not wait for confidence to arrive first. Give your brain one small reason to trust you.
One sentence can become the first proof.
And of course, when learners start speaking, mistakes will happen.
Sadly, yes, English does not give us a mistake-free welcome basket.
I wish it did.
But mistakes are not the opposite of fluency. They are part of the learning curve.
Learning curve. Let's explain that. A learning curve is the natural process where something feels difficult at first, but slowly becomes easier as you practice.
Yes, at the beginning, you may feel slow. You may forget words. You may use the wrong tense. You may say something in a funny way.
Have you ever made a mistake in another language?
Oh, absolutely. I once said, I am very boring, when I meant I am very bored.
Dangerous mistake.
Very dangerous. People could have believed me.
But that is the hidden gift of mistakes. A mistake shows your brain where the gap is.
It is like a little red light on a car dashboard. Annoying, yes, but useful.
And if you ignore every red light because you feel embarrassed, the car does not improve.
Mistakes are information. They are not a personal attack.
In real conversation, mistakes are often smaller than we think. The listener may still understand, the conversation may continue, and honestly, the world does not collapse.
That is comforting, because sometimes learners treat one mistake like the whole conversation is ruined.
But it is not ruined. Your goal is not to avoid every mistake. Your goal is to keep the conversation alive.
If you forget a word, describe it. If your grammar breaks, simplify the sentence. If someone looks confused, say it again differently.
That's real fluency, too. Not perfect speaking, but flexible speaking.
A fluent speaker is not someone who never has trouble. A fluent speaker knows how to continue.
So when a mistake happens, do not stop the whole movie.
Yes, do not throw the remote at the screen.
Just continue the scene.
Because every speaking mistake is a small teacher. Some teachers are annoying, but they still teach.
Now, I want to speak directly to our podcast listeners for a second.
The daily listeners?
Yes, the breakfast listeners, the walking listeners, the nighttime listeners, the people who say, I understand more now, but I still cannot speak.
That is such a common place to be.
And first, it is not a bad place. Listening is powerful. It gives your brain rhythm, pronunciation, sentence patterns, natural phrases, and emotional tone.
Listening is like filling a kitchen with ingredients.
Oh, I like that. Words, phrases, expressions, grammar, pronunciation, all ingredients.
But speaking is when you actually cook. That is when you learn how the ingredients work together.
Beautiful. Listening gives you the language. Speaking helps you own it.
And at first, when you start speaking, you may not feel stable. You are trying to find your footing.
Find your footing means to slowly become comfortable and steady in a new situation.
Yes. Imagine stepping onto a small boat. At first, you do not trust the floor, but after a while, your body adjusts.
Speaking English is like that. At first, your sentence moves, your grammar shakes, your words feel uncertain, but with practice, you stand more steadily.
So if you understand a lot but speak less, nothing is wrong with you.
Your listening muscle is stronger right now. Your speaking muscle just needs gentle training.
And this is where it gets emotional, because speaking does not only ask your brain to produce English, it also asks your real self to come forward.
That is true. When you speak another language, you can feel exposed.
Exposed. Strong word.
Exposed means visible or vulnerable, like people can see your weakness.
And when you speak English, people can hear your pauses, your accent, your mistakes, and that little moment when your brain is searching for a word.
Yes, and that can feel personal. In your own language, you may feel smart, funny, quick, and confident, but in English, you may feel smaller.
That hurts a bit, because you know who you are, but English only shows part of you at first.
That is why just speak can sound too simple. Speaking is not only a language action, it's an emotional action.
You are letting people see you in progress.
And that is what it means to put yourself out there.
Put yourself out there means you allow yourself to be seen, to try, and to participate, even when it feels uncomfortable.
Yes, it does not mean you are perfect. It means you are brave enough to try where someone can hear you.
Even if your voice shakes a little.
Even if your sentence comes out wearing mismatched socks.
Still a sentence? Still trying.
I remember a learner who was afraid to speak in office meetings. She had good ideas, but she stayed quiet because she thought everyone would notice her mistakes.
Oh, I understand that feeling.
One day, she shared one idea slowly. Her grammar was not perfect, but her idea was useful. After the meeting, one person told her, "That was a good point."
That must have changed something inside her.
It did. She realized people were listening for her idea, not waiting to attack her grammar.
And that is important. Most real conversations are not grammar exams. People usually want meaning. They want connection. They want to understand you.
And yes, some people may correct you badly. Some people may be impatient, but they do not decide whether you deserve a voice.
So start in safe places, a kind friend, a voice note, a small group, a comment you read out loud.
Because putting yourself out there does not mean throwing yourself into the scariest room first.
It means giving your voice small chances to be heard.
And sometimes you'll need to push through.
Push through means to continue even when something feels difficult or uncomfortable.
Not harshly, not forcing yourself until you hate English, just gently continuing when your fear says stop.
Like walking uphill, you don't need to run, you just keep moving.
You can say, "I need a second. Let me think. I am still practicing, so I may speak slowly."
Those sentences do not hide your learning. They protect your voice while you speak.
Because the goal is not to become fearless overnight.
The goal is to speak even with a little fear in the room.
Fear can sit in the back seat.
But it cannot touch the steering wheel.
So today, try one small thing. Repeat 3 lines out loud, answer one question in the comments, or send a 30-second voice note to yourself.
Small, real, brave steps.
Because the version of you who speaks English is built sentence by sentence.
Not by waiting to feel ready.
But by becoming ready while you speak.
One sentence at a time.
And honestly, that is more than enough for today. Shall we go into the word tour?
Let us tour the words. Okay, let's begin with a word for when you want to do something, but a part of you feels unsure or nervous.
Reluctant.
Yes, reluctant means you are not fully willing to do something because you feel uncomfortable, nervous, or unsure.
You can say, "I was reluctant to speak English in the meeting because I was afraid of mistakes."
Or, she wanted to join the conversation, but she felt reluctant at first.
So, reluctant does not mean lazy. It means something inside you is pulling back.
Nice. Let's repeat it. Reluctant.
Reluctant.
Now let's look at a phrase for that little voice inside you that says, maybe I am not good enough.
Self-doubt.
Yes, self-doubt means you question your own ability, even when you may actually be better than you think.
You can say, self-doubt stopped me from answering the question.
Or, he understands English well, but self-doubt makes him stay silent.
So, self-doubt is not always the truth. Sometimes it's just fear speaking very loudly.
Good. Let's repeat it. Self-doubt.
Self-doubt.
Okay, now let's look at a word for someone who can express ideas clearly.
Articulate.
Yes, if you are articulate, you can explain your thoughts in a clear and understandable way.
You can say, she gave a simple but articulate answer.
Or, you do not need perfect grammar to be articulate.
So, articulate does not mean fancy. It means clear. Your words help people understand your idea.
Beautiful. Let's repeat it. Articulate.
Articulate.
Now let's look at a moment that feels uncomfortable, strange, or not smooth.
Awkward.
Yes, awkward means something feels a little uncomfortable, embarrassing, or unnatural.
You can say, my first English conversation felt awkward, but I was proud of myself.
Or, it is normal to feel awkward when you try speaking a new language.
So, awkward is not failure. Awkward often means you are doing something new.
Nice. Let's repeat it. Awkward.
Awkward.
Okay, now let's look at a powerful word for the moment when you finally move forward after feeling stuck.
Breakthrough.
Yes, a breakthrough is an important moment of progress, especially after something has been difficult for a long time.
You can say, my first short conversation in English was a breakthrough for me.
Or, after months of practice, she had a breakthrough and started speaking more naturally.
So, a breakthrough does not always have to be big from the outside. Sometimes one small sentence can feel huge inside.
Good. Let's repeat it. Breakthrough.
Breakthrough.
Now let's look at a phrase for the normal difficulty you feel when learning something new.
A learning curve.
Yes, a learning curve means the process where something feels difficult at first, but slowly becomes easier with practice.
You can say, speaking English has a learning curve, so be patient with yourself.
Or, at first, using new vocabulary was hard, but I accepted the learning curve.
So, a learning curve reminds us that difficulty is normal. It does not mean you are failing.
Nice. Let's repeat it. A learning curve.
A learning curve.
Okay, now let's look at a phrase for becoming more comfortable and steady in a new situation.
Find your footing.
Yes, to find your footing means to slowly become comfortable, confident, and stable when something is new.
You can say, after a few English conversations, I started to find my footing.
Or, give yourself time to find your footing in a new language.
So, finding your footing is like stepping onto a boat. At first, you feel unsteady, but slowly your body learns how to balance.
Beautiful image. Let's repeat it. Find your footing.
Find your footing.
Now let's look at a strong word for when you feel visible, vulnerable, or a little unprotected.
Exposed.
Yes, exposed means you feel seen in a way that makes you uncomfortable, like people can notice your mistakes or weakness.
You can say, I felt exposed when I spoke English in front of my team.
Or many learners feel exposed when they make mistakes in public.
So, exposed is not only about language, it is also about emotion. It is that feeling of, people can see me trying.
Good. Let's repeat it. Exposed.
Exposed.
Okay, now let's look at a phrase for letting people see you try, even when it feels uncomfortable.
Put yourself out there.
Yes, to put yourself out there means to take a social or emotional risk by trying, sharing, speaking, or participating.
You can say, if you want to improve your speaking, you need to put yourself out there.
Or, she put herself out there and joined an English conversation group.
So, putting yourself out there does not mean being perfect. It means being brave enough to try where people can see you.
Nice. Let's repeat it. Put yourself out there.
Put yourself out there.
And our final phrase today is for continuing even when something feels difficult.
Push through.
Yes, to push through means to keep going, even when you feel nervous, tired, uncomfortable, or unsure.
You can say, I felt nervous, but I pushed through and answered the question.
Or, when speaking feels uncomfortable, take a breath and push through gently.
So push through does not mean force yourself harshly. It means continue with courage, one small step at a time.
Beautiful. Let's repeat it. Push through.
Push through.
And those are today's Word Tour words and phrases.
Yes, keep them close because these words do not only help you speak better English, they help you talk about the real feeling of becoming a speaker.
And maybe that is the biggest message today. Speaking English is not about waiting until you feel perfect.
It is about starting small, one sentence, one answer, one brave little moment.
So after this episode, try one simple thing. Say one sentence out loud in English.
Yes, and tell us in the comments, what is one English sentence you can say today?
It can be simple, it can be messy, it can even be a little awkward.
Awkward is welcome here.
If this episode helped you, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with another English learner who is waiting to feel ready.
Remember, you are not behind. You are learning, you are growing, and you are more ready than you think.
Take care of your English.
And take care of your heart. This is Anna.
And this is Jake.